Good afternoon, everybody out here in YouTube land. This is my first YouTube video. Now, I'm not much of a YouTube person. I usually only use it for entertainment purposes, to watch the things I like to watch, and keep up with the things I like to keep up with and enjoy. On my YouTube channel, you'll find a few other videos on there, but they're only little things that I found interesting, that I enjoy, that I wanted to share with the world, and I thought maybe some other people might find interesting and might enjoy as well. But this video has a very special purpose today. This video is made to celebrate somebody very special in the world who has reached a very special milestone in their life and in their professional career. This video is made for somebody special who has earned my respect and the respect of many, many people across this globe. And you have to be somebody very special. And I've used that word a lot, and that's because this person really is uniquely special in their own right. Especially because the person I want to celebrate and speak to through this video is somebody who has consistently used their musical and performative talents to leave this world a better place than when they came into it. And someone who still continues to do that to this day. This is somebody who has used their talents consistently to lift people up, to encourage people, to inspire people, and to really do good in other people's lives, because that's where their heart truly is. That person's name is Debbie Gibson. Debbie is celebrating the 35th anniversary of the release of her first album called Out of the Blue. Now, as a teenager, I had this album, and it meant the world to me. It helped me with so much. And then there was Electric Youth after that, and that album also helped me with a whole lot of things. And then there was the album after that, which was just another dynamite creation by Debbie. And I hope my fellow Debbie Gibson fans will like this video and find it appealing. And Debbie, if you ever get to see this video, and I don't know that you will, because I know you have your own things going on in your professional life as well as whatever is going on in your personal life, because everybody has a professional life and a personal life, and not everybody gets time to jump on YouTube. And Debbie, I know you're more of a of a Facebook person and a Instagram person. You once followed me on one of my old Twitter accounts that I don't have anymore, and maybe hopefully I'll create another Twitter account someday, I don't know. And maybe you can follow me there again. But I wanted to highlight some videos and some very special video clips, Debbie, that you had put out here over time. Because I thought it was a great way to give back to you, to uplift you, to inspire you, to encourage you in the same way that you have done for all of us out here over the last 35 years of your life. And so what I've done is to chop up certain video clips that I found important and meaningful, that I think other people will also find important and meaningful. And what I do is I stitch them together with videos of my own replying to those clips, and replying in a way that is caring and thoughtful, intelligent, and uplifting to you. Because again, the whole purpose of this is to celebrate you and your presence in the world, what you mean to people, what you meant to me, and still mean to me as a fellow human being on this planet. I know that, you're a well-accomplished music artist who has broken certain records, and you've won a lot of awards, and you're in the public light, and everybody wants your time and everything. I think that just goes with the territory. But I wanted to be more of a person that addresses you as a human to human in uplifting you and celebrating you and your last 35 years of life. And like I said, just giving back to you in the same encouraging, uplifting, inspirational way that you have given back, given to all of us. And I'm not used to speaking on video, so you'll have to give me a little bit of grace here. Anyways, I'm just being myself, just like you are in your videos. I think you've made me comfortable doing that. I'm a lot more nervous than I look here. So, without much further ado, I want to present the first video clip where you talk about a situation where a woman made some flippant comment to you about how you looked, and you turned it into something that I think really embodies who you truly are and the kind of caring, loving personality and heart that you truly have. I'm going to play that video clip now, and then I'm going to respond to it.
I never mind constructive critical comments or opinions, but when things are just unkind or judgmental, that just doesn't serve any purpose to me. And I see my social media as my house, my home. So you can be however you want to be out in the world or in your home, but you will get banned and blocked from my home. And again, it's really not about me. I didn't lose one wink of sleep last night, but it just bothered me because it's a reflection of how so many people are and what so many people do to one another. And again, for the people that are in that vulnerable place, because I have been there before, where I was so beaten down and so not feeling well, and that if I did get an attack that was even minor, it took me down 6 more notches and prolonged my healing process. I'm not in that place, thank you, right now, but so many people are. So choose your words. Look inward. If you're going to throw a judgment out there like that, look at what you might not be happy with within yourself, because usually that's where it's coming from. Thank you. And good night.
That video clip right there proves that not only does Debbie Gibson want and make a safe place for all of her fans and followers, friends and family on her social media, but from my own personal experience having attended a Debbie Gibson concert here in Chicago, that is the kind of consistent environment she creates at her shows for everybody. And that, Debbie, really makes you a stand-up person. It shows that you have good, upstanding character. It shows that you treat people the way you want to be treated. It shows that you have value and respect and concern and thoughts for your fellow human beings. And not everybody in your position is like that. There are some people in the public light, as we know, and we don't have to name them in this day and age because we all know who they are, but they use their social media presence or their speaking engagements or their music shows to say and do harmful things that tear other people down and hurt other people, whether it be their fellow artists or politicians or certain groups of people in society across the world. Hate is hate, and you are being celebrated in this response for never spreading hate. It has become fashionable to hurt people, to intentionally inflict emotional and psychological damage. And it's just a sad reality of what our world has become. But you, Debbie Gibson, have made sure that you kept centered on creating an environment wherever you are that's good for everybody, that's safe, it's welcoming, it's warm, and people can just have a good time and be themselves. And where there's so much mental health concern going on in the world right now, we really need someone like you to do that. And not just in this day and age, we've always needed that. You know, in the beginning of this video, I spoke about how your first 3 albums really impacted my life. And when I needed something or someone that could relate to me, your music was it at that time for me. I mean, there were other music artists that did really important work like you did and said a lot of important things like you have said. And I listened to them as well, and they were also very meaningful for me at that time. And they still are. I still listen to their music just like I still listen to your material to this day. So I want to take this time to say, Debbie, thank you for standing up and telling people to be thoughtful and kind with their words and their actions, because the world has always needed that, and we need it even today. So that's something really, really special about you, and I encourage you to keep doing that. The next video clip I'm going to present comes from a video where you talked about how you're grateful for the kinds of fans and followers that you have and all the support you've gained. When I reply to that, I'm going to talk about why that is, why you have the kind of followers you have. And I'm going to encourage you, inspire you, and uplift you and celebrate you even more, because, Debbie, you have earned it. I think someone with the kind of consistent messaging that you've had, that comes from your heart, and is a reflection of who you are, not just as an artist, but as a fellow human being, deserves that kind of celebration, that kind of praise, and that kind of recognition. When we look at the fact that your first album, Out of the Blue, turns 35, and we're all celebrating it as a community together, I thought that this would be the best gift that I, as a member of that community, could give you. And I hope this is that kind of gift that you will see and listen to when you need encouragement, the same way that you have encouraged me and so many others and inspired us. I hope that this is the kind of gift that's one of those that you can keep and treasure. You deserve that. And so this is my contribution to say thank you for 35 years of doing such a wonderful job being a positive messenger in the world and a positive influence on so many of us.
The fact that I have such cool, fun-loving, yet respectful, grown-up followers, supporters of my music, and that, you know, through the power of social media and these meet and greets that I hope are coming back, please. The fact that I get to now know you guys as people is so meaningful. And like I said, it's like, you know, I don't have kids. I have my dogs and my songs. And so when my songs like go out into the world and take on a life of their own, that's my baby. You know, you guys have hung with me through the like, Debbie, where'd she go? What's she doing? Oh, that album didn't do well. That whatever. You guys have stuck with me. You continue to stick with me. I appreciate you so much. And, you know, I feel like when there is like a public moment of validation, you all get validated in some way. And the beauty is you don't even need that validation. But when you get it, I get as excited for you. Excuse me. I'm not going to say sorry ever for crying. I get as excited for you as you do for me, because we are on this journey together. And I always feel like I've represented a group of people who are timeless and ageless and eternally electric and heartfelt and cool, because maybe we're not the cool people. We weren't the cool people in school. I know I was not. And let's just keep representing, keep doing what we do, keep bringing the joy.
Hi, Deb. I'm responding to this video that you made back in May of 2021 because you said a lot of important things. And before I say anything else, let me say that I've never responded to a video by a celebrity or anybody in the public light before. I just don't make a habit of it, and I don't really intend to make a habit of it. But because of the things you said, they were so important that I really thought they deserved a response. So I'm going to take the time to go over some of the things you said that I found important. And it's a significant portion of the video. And because of that, this video is going to take a little bit of time. But everything I have to say are good things. I want that to be known. This is not a video made to be critical or anything like that. This is a video to call out all the good things you said and to go over them point by point. So the first thing you said in your video is that you found yourself lucky to have fans and followers that are just really cool people and who really want to support you and be there for you and things like that. The reason you have the kind of mature, kind, thoughtful, loving, caring supporters and fans that you have is because you yourself have put out that kind of energy in the world. You have always acted, at least to the best of your ability, with integrity and honor and ethics and maturity and kindness and love and care towards people. And so because that's what you put out in the world, those are the kinds of fans and followers that you have. The next thing you said is that you don't have children, but you have your songs and your dogs. And I thought that that was important. Not everybody wants kids, and that's okay. Not everybody can have kids, and that's okay too. But you also said that when you put your songs out into the world and they start hitting people's ears, that those songs are your babies. And that's legitimate. You know, it takes time to create songs. Those songs that you create and publish in their finished form are things I know come from your heart, your creativity, and your creative process, your thinking. The things that you put into your songs have significance to you. And when you write from such a genuine place. When you perform from such a genuine place that people pick up on that. You're not a phony, and people realize that. There's plenty of phony people in Hollywood, and in the music business, in the content creation business, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitter, on all sorts of these platforms today. There are a lot of phony people, and you can pick them out. But you're not phony. And that is what endears people to you, and what endears you to people, is that you've always used your music to help inspire people and to say things that you thought were important, things that you thought were significant. And you were always being genuine about it the whole time. And that is why people are drawn to your music and drawn to you as a human being, as a person. The next point I want to get to is that you pointed out that your fans and your followers, your supporters, have been with you through the good and the bad, whether or not an album did well, or maybe you took some time off and just kind of disappeared without saying anything or whatever. And I thought that was significant for the reason that no matter what kind of work a person does, whether you're a music artist or a landscaper or a medical professional, a lawyer, a police officer, a judge, or you work in fast food or whatever you do for a living, people need time to themselves. And sometimes people just need to go off the grid and disconnect from the rest of the world and just take care of themselves and do things that are important for them to do for themselves, whatever those things may be. And the fact that you set the example for doing that is important. And that's another thing that is going to draw the right kind of people to you and your music, is because of the example you set. It has been said that in life you lead by example. Now, I know that you may not have intended to set out to lead in some way, or to be acknowledged as a leader in any way, but when you come into the public light, that's essentially what you become. And it's important to recognize and realize and remember that. And I think you've done an awesome job at that. I really do. So in saying what I've said so far, I want to get to this next thing where you pointed out that people have been with you through this whole time, no matter what has happened. And the bottom line is that the reason people have stuck with you is because of who you are, because of how you treat people, because of how you use your place in the spotlight, because of how you use your music. The next thing you mentioned in your video is that when you get accolades and validation, you feel like your fans and your followers, your supporters, also get that validation. And you briefly mentioned how you think that they may not need that validation, or that they don't need that validation. The truth is, every human being needs validation. And that's an okay thing. It's just a fact of life. I know we may agree to disagree there, but I think everybody at some point in their life, and at different junctures in life, needs validation from somebody that's important to them. Whether it be a mom, a dad, a sibling, aunt, uncle, grandmother, grandfather, best friend, romantic partner, whatever. Co-workers, neighbors. Everybody needs some kind of support through their life. And you started crying at that juncture in your video, and initially started to apologize and said, no, I'm not going to apologize for crying. And that was important. And the reason that's important is because, again, it shows that you are a real human being, that you are a person first with emotions and thoughts. And your whole video just shows how much you realize that your success and your place in the public light is a privilege and not a given right, that it can be gone at any moment. And you really are truly thankful for having what you have and having the kinds of fans and supporters and followers you have. That endears you to people, because that's you being genuine, that's you being real, that's you being who you are. And I want to talk about who Debbie Gibson is for a minute here, because Debbie Gibson, or Deborah, or Deb, I'm not sure what you like to be called. So, whichever you like to be called is fine. But, you've never used your place musically or on the Broadway stage or in any other context to try to be anybody else. You've only ever tried to be yourself. And that is important. There are so many people in Hollywood and in the music business and Broadway, just in the entertainment business, period. Even if they're not big public figures, but they're out here on social media doing things that are important to them and sharing whatever their talents and abilities are with the world. And some people only have 5 followers. Some people have 1 million followers. And it doesn't matter how many followers you have. What matters is what kind of person you are and what you're using your platform for. And you have always used your music, your place in the public light, your music performances, your Broadway performances, your interactions with your fans during meet and greets. You've always been very kind and supportive and open to people. You've never treated people as a bother or like, they were taking up your time and they shouldn't be taking up your time. I remember when I met you here in Chicago, you were just tired and so many people wanted your time and attention. And I waited till you were done with everybody because I wanted you to have that time with your other fans first before I approached you. And that was just out of, really thought and consideration for them as well as for you. But the fact that you let me take a photo with you, and you were so patient and you were so kind, and you didn't treat me as a bother. You didn't see me or talk to me like I was taking away from your time or whatever, or like I was a nuisance to you, and that is important. You treat people in a very down-to-earth, caring, kind, thoughtful, and genuine way, and that's another reason you have the kind of mature, kind, and thoughtful, caring followers and supporters that you have, is because of who you actually are. When you're a decent human being, you attract decent people. And Deborah Gibson or Debbie Gibson or Deb Gibson is a decent human being who cares about people and loves people and wants to use her place in the public light to do as much good as she can. Whether it's just putting out good music that makes people feel good, or it's spending time with your fans at meet and greets and just sitting down and talking to them and answering questions, taking photos, signing autographs, or whatever other kinds of things you choose to do in that time. You always do things that are meaningful to people and important to people. And sometimes it's just those little things that matter. It's making someone smile. It's making someone's day. It's making someone's dream come true who always wanted to meet and spend time with Debbie Gibson. Because you did something or said something or did or said a number of things that were meaningful to people in their lives. There's a lot of people in this world who have mental health concerns or medical challenges otherwise. And they needed something that made their life worth living. They needed something and someone to encourage them that meant something to them, and you were that person for a lot of people. I can tell you there have been times in my life when that's been true, for me especially in my teenage years. There's so many of your songs, especially on your first 3 albums, that really helped me make it through a lot of different rough times. And when I say rough times, I mean really terrible, traumatic, horrible, nightmarish times in my life. And I'm not going to go into the details in this video, but I just thought I would get to these points because these are all the things that make you who you are and make you valuable to people in the world. And you've always made it a point, Debbie or Deborah or Deb, you've made it a point, an important point, to make sure that people felt loved and welcomed and valued. So as I end this video, I want to tell you that no matter what happens, no matter what you've done in the world, no matter what you continue to do or where your life goes, I want to give you the same gift that you've given all of us who have heard your music and been faithful supporters and fans and followers of yours all these decades. I want to tell you that you yourself are loved and cared about and valued, that your presence in the world means something. And the fact that you can show these things and be vulnerable and be human and attract the kind of people, the kind of good people that you attract, says a lot about you. Even more than your music and anything else that you do says about you. And I think that's important for you to hear. So I want you to be encouraged. I want you to feel lifted up and know that there are those of us out here who are going to give you that kind of support. And you deserve that kind of support for all you've done. So thank you for all these decades that you've given. And I look forward to any further creative endeavors of yours. You know I will be listening, and I will be there to support you. Have a good day, Debbie, or Deb, or Deborah. I appreciate you. And always know that everything you do is meaningful. And we're lucky to have someone like you in the world, and I hope that the world sees more people like you.